Alright, welcome to Oxygen Not Included. So the game starts off telling you it's in the early stages of development. They push updates to the game all the time. In fact, the next one is going to be in 6 days, and who knows what's going to be involved with that update. Every now and then they'll do an update to the game that actually changes it in significant ways. So you may want to take note of the build number or just be aware I'm starting this game on December 2nd, 2021. And the game may be a little bit different by the time you play it. So let's get to it. I'll click on New Game. I'm going to choose a game mode, so you can choose between survival or no sweat. I don't think I've ever played this game in no sweat mode. I tend to like the challenge. So then I need to choose an asteroid style. I can either choose classic, which has a much larger starting asteroid, or spaced out, which requires a little bit more space travel to survive. And as well, this has some of the Spaced Out DLC content. So that's the one I'm going to go with, Spaced Out, for this playthrough of the game. The next thing is to choose the asteroid you want to land on. So there's a number of asteroids, generally the further right, the more difficult, but let's just choose the first one here, which is an easy enough one. And then you can roll for a number of traits of the nearby and distance asteroids. Your main asteroid where you're going to land won't have any traits. And I'm going to keep re-rolling until I get something that has a lot of metal. And the reason for that is I tend to like a lot of industrial building, which requires metal. And this one has quite a bit. I actually only care so much about the first two asteroids. This one down here has actual teleportation ability to it from a starting asteroid, so that's going to be very useful. It has metallic caves, that's great. And the one above is metal rich. I'll be able to fly to that one early on-ish in the game. So that's awesome. I'm going to take that asteroid. Alright, so this is the screen. We can choose our first 3 duplicates to begin the game. You can either take them as they are, or you can keep re-rolling till you get something that you like. So the other thing is you can re-roll, but you can force at least one in the interest to be something of particular. I always go for researcher, 1 digger, and 1 operator. And I always have the operator to at least have the supply skills, and I'll have to keep re-rolling to get that. Now you may want to avoid some of the negative traits, so there's always going to be a positive trait and a negative trait. As well, I tend to prefer interests that are a bit varied, because I like to have them later on in the game specialize in a number of things. So I'm going to have at least 2 for each of these. This one will be a research with at least 1 other ability to help me early on in the game. Operating and suit wearing, they're quick. They're good with machinery, decrease with medicine. I generally avoid people getting sick, so that one works fine for me. Second one here is our digger. They're going to do, actually this one's pretty good. They're going to do building. They're a doctor. Maybe I'll keep re-rolling until I get something that's just digger, builder, digger, supply. Actually, this one's perfect. They're a digger who has this mole hands, which is very handy. And they're also going to do a lot of building. And then they can't cook. I don't really care about that. Someone else will do the cooking. And then I'm going to re-roll this other one until I get operating and supply. And the reason that I have operating and supply together is because that allows me to do some of the automation abilities in this game early on. So I'm going to name these based on their roles. This essentially is our scientist that's going to do a lot of the research in the game. This is going to be our miner that's going to dig out a lot of materials. And this will be our engineer. If I can type that. All right. So, an impenetrable train wreck. Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic name. Let's go for it. Okay, so we just landed with our 3 duplicates. We're on our very first cycle. I'm going to pause it for just a second. And I'm going to take a moment to look around. So the goal for cycle 1 is to make a place for them to sleep and a place for them to use toilets. And the first decision I need to make is essentially where I'm going to put a ladder. So this is going to be where duplicates will go up and down to be able to get around. And what I'm going to do to choose that location is look around at the heat map, see if there's anything I need to avoid nearby. There's some heat in the distance, but I'm not too concerned about that. The other thing I want to look at is some of the wild plants, because I want 4 of them together to build a nature reserve later on. Now, these tiles here, note, are definitely going to disappear, so I could either use this lower area with some of the other plants, or up here. I think we're good with something up there. Let's build on the left side a ladder. So in order to build a ladder, we need some material to build it with. We need to start digging out some of the nearby sandstone. So we'll dig that, and then I'll start dropping on the ground, and from this point on I'll be able to build ladder out of that sandstone. So that's excellent. Let's see, I'm going to choose to build it right here. So I'm going to build up and down a certain distance. And I'm going to leave a bit of distance between the printing pod and the ladder. The reason for that is I'll have research station here that'll have light. Generally, when they're doing research, if they've got light, they can do that a little bit quicker. Alright, so they're starting on this ladder, going up and down. I'm going to want a place to put toilets and a place for beds for them to sleep. So let's go, let's see, not waste some of their time. Let's put the beds up here, and the toilets. Do I go left? Do I go right? This area, although has lots of wild plants, I don't care. I'm going to use this as a nature reserve anyways. Let's go this side and clear that out for some toilets. The other thing, how about we up the speed to max here? I think that'd be good. I'm also going to clear out some of the tiles next to the ladder to allow oxygen to go up and other areas to go down as necessary. So we'll let them clear this out, and once they have that, we'll put on the insides of these 2 rooms together. So in order to build rooms, I'm going to need doors. I'll need metal for that. Looks like they have some metal, so that's perfect. I'm going to actually create 2 doors here, and the reason for that is I don't have any tiles that's going to allow me to allow air through at this point in the game. Oh, let's pause. So it looks like they have some cycles or time available. I'm going to create a wash basin with 3 toilets, and ideally I'm going to leave room for 4 wash basins here, and I'm going to put 4 toilets here in the future. So that's going to be the setup there. Over on this side, I'm going to have 3 beds, and I'm going to go 4 tiles from the door. And the reason for that is I want to avoid the shine bugs, these little guys coming down in front of the door. And if you have a look at the light view, they shine tiles up to they shine up to 5 tiles away. So if that bug was to stand here, it would light up this space, waking up anyone in that spot, and that's not good. So if we put our beds further away from the door, that'll avoid that from happening. So we're looking pretty good right now. I think we're going to have our 3 toilets that are used, our 3 beds set up. We actually have some excess time for cycle 1 to clear out some spot in this direction.
Actually, what I might also do is have them dig down to this water, if they've got the time. If not, I'm happy with 3 toilets and 3 beds for cycle 1. Okay, I think we might have water already going to finish for the day. Oh. They've got time, just keep digging.
I like to avoid having the duplicates in the idle stage. The other thing I suppose I could do is I could put 3 sinks for them to have. I don't think they'll be able to finish it. No. So there they are. I consider it a success if I just have 3 toilets that are operational. They're able to grab some food, and at the end of the day, they can go each find a bed. And I would say that's a successful cycle 1. Let's just check that these are actually rooms. So you can go to the room layer, and you can see these are barracks and latrine down here. Perfect. All right, we can move on to cycle 2.